Hi, welcome to Behind the Bling. Today we're going to chat with Miss Shirin Bandukwalla, who is the co-founder and director of SGL Labs, which is a world-renowned diamond jewelry certification lab and a very, very, very close friend. Hi Shirin, how are you?
Hi, Looney. It's been a tremendous pleasure to do this podcast with you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank
Now,
you.
first things first, Shirin. Of course, you're a friend and I know everything about your personal journey. But for our viewers, we would want to know that you've built such a global powerhouse, right? SGL is like this global powerhouse in the certification industry. So, can you share us your personal story about the inception of SGL and also how your entire personal journey has been like?
Yes, this is a very, very dear, dear part of my life. This phase that has happened to me since the past 17 years. So obviously, I'm a clinical psychologist by profession,
Oh,
and
wow.
I've come into the diamond field more or less. I would say destiny and serendipity. I would say because a friend who was already there in the diamond industry. He was like, Shirin, please, can you come and help us? Because we need you to be in an exhibition, IIGS, and they were AGS, American Gem Society. And I said, are you crazy? I don't know anything about diamonds. And she said, no, you just have to come there, stand pretty and, talk.
Right,
and I
right.
said, I can't because I don't know anything about
Right.
diamonds. But like I said, fate, and Peter Yanzer was there. And he said, Shirin, you did a fantastic job. I know I'm bragging a little bit, sorry, but he said, you're doing a fantastic job. And he said, why don't you come and let us train you in diamonds? And hence my journey with them. And then, of course, I met my partner, Mr. Chirag Soni,
Right.
who is the co-founder as well, along with me. And we decided that there were certain things that we wanted to do a little differently, which I will say along the way.
Right.
And we started to open, decided to open our own lab. And hence, the journey begins from there. That's my inception story.
Right. And like you said, you're a clinical psychologist. And more than that, this is a very male-dominated industry. So being a woman leader in a male-dominated industry, since you started your own journey with directly having your own business and your own lab and setting all that up. So what were the kind of challenges you must have faced being a woman in a male-dominated industry?
See, I faced a twofold challenge. First, answering your question regarding being a woman in a male-dominated field, our industry is. I think 98% are, apart from glamorous people like you, there are very few people few women who are, they are backside, behind the scene. There are lots of women in our industry,
Right.
but being in the forefront and selling your brand and making a stance and trying to make a name in this in the industry was, yes, a bit difficult. I do realize so many times, I realized that people wanted to talk to my partner and not to me.
Right.
Because somehow there was a little bit of apprehension. They felt intimidated by a strong woman. And I then realized that maybe I had to change.
Right.
And I changed a bit. And rather than coming on very strong, because I'd just come down from London,
Right.
I lived all my life over there, I decided to change and mellow down a bit. And, I would tell my partner, okay, you go ahead and
Right.
you do the presentation.
Right.
Let them not feel, because they felt intimidated.
Right.
But I think over the years, they realized that, a woman can be powerful
Right.
as well as accommodating.
Right.
And that was my main struggle initially.
Right.
And the other struggle was that we were two unknown, obscure people, nothing to do
Right.
with the jewelry industry. And we were fighting like with the giants who were
Giants.
well established. I don't need to name anybody, but we didn't have any kind of godfathers or any backing. We were just two ordinary Indian people who just came in and started the lab. So can you imagine the acceptance?
Right.
It was a great challenge, but people have been wonderful and really helpful.
Right.
So
Especially since lab obviously involves a lot of trust and a lot of transparency, because it's a
Yes.
third party verification at the end of
Totally.
it, right?
Totally.
So for you to build that trust and reach where you are today, how long has it taken for you to actually transform and reach this stage?
So this is a very interesting question. See, what happened is we saw what was happening in the industry with other certification labs. We took a different kind of a route. So we tied up with the retailers,
Right.
okay, and we told them that we are your trust us as your quality control people,
Right.
okay. We are your guardians for your certification partners.
Right.
So hence we tied up with retailers who build their trust on
Right.
our grading.
Right.
They saw how we were working, and in fact there is no body over here, right, who
Right.
governs anything.
Absolutely.
We are rated by how people accept us.
Absolutely.
Hence down south, which is a very conservative market, right, we got accepted there very
Very
fast. So we started our journey very fast from down south, because retailers understood our consistency, our transparency, and everything was very open and
Right.
very consistent grading. So we
And
got
ethically
accepted.
done.
Yes.
And ethically
Yes.
done. So, being such a boss lady that you are,
Yeah.
like I know you, and ever since I've known you, you're this boss woman who inspires me at least. And you
Ooh,
have impeccable style, right? And you have this,
thank
and
you.
you're running this dynamic global business.
Hmm.
So, how do you balance being a boss lady, having all of this with you, and then managing such a large organization with how many people do you have in your organization now?
First of all, I'll say thank you, because inspiration is vice versa as well. You're a
Right.
lovely lady, beautiful, glamorous. I've always seen you looking absolutely glam sham, and I used to feel, oh my God, I'm being interviewed today by Lunica. So thank you for the compliment. But being a boss lady, I don't really see myself very much as a boss, okay?
Right.
Because I treat SGL as a family.
Right.
We've grown over the years with ridiculously small numbers to where we are now
Right.
globally, almost having 400 people worldwide.
Wow.
So I would say that I don't consider myself as boss,
Right.
but I consider myself as leading my family. And what I have gained from then, okay, is absolutely, you cannot even measure it. It's amazing. So yeah, that is how it is. I would say it is more of a family.
Right.
But being up there like a boss, I would say, is like being more of a leader.
Right.
You're there to hold, not to hold their hands, but to guide them. And you find that it's reciprocated very well.
Right. And I think that is what ultimately everyone's goal in life is, to build relationships that last
Yes.
very long.
Yes.
So with certification, at the heart of our industry, what has SGL Labs in terms of innovation done differently from the other labs that are there in the industry?
Okay.
Because there are very few, and you
That's
guys
right.
are one of the big ones.
That's right.
Hmm.
That's right. So I would say the innovation would be our first, when we launched our machines, okay, we
Right.
tied up with an international company. So our Intel, our software and their hardware. And what we did was that we came up with a synthetic and lab-grown detection machine.
Oh.
And this was years ago,
Hmm.
not now. So we call it Diascreen, SGL Diascreen.
Oh.
And this is, I think we were one of the pioneers who did the trend. We were the first people who got our own machines, and that is almost about 7 years ago.
Wow.
So I would say definitely that's the first innovation we came up with.
Right.
And the other machines that are happening, obviously we are constantly evolving with other international companies.
Right. So
Yeah.
now SGL operates across the globe,
Yes.
right? How do you maintain the same level of excellence? Do you have any in-house training program? How does that work?
Absolutely. So what SGL prides in itself is consistency, right?
Right.
We're quite, I know a lot of people say, oh my God, you're very strict. Well, yes, we do tilt towards
Yes.
a little stricter side. That is because we want to give fair grades and we want to be consistent. So I cannot have, and since we are spread all over the world,
Right.
I cannot have my down south, lab giving a different grade than my Calcutta lab. So, what we do is we periodically get all our graders together. We also do cross-country checks, get one grader here and the other grader there. And we continuously, every 6 months, have a person, the senior grader, going to all various labs and getting the checks done. So that is a very important criteria, because my whole ethos of my company is consistency and meeting the highest standards, My tagline is rest assured,
Right.
So I have to keep up with that.
Right. And now with technology advancing so rapidly and everybody is using AI, are you guys also implementing any kind of AI technology within your lab?
100%. Yeah. That is now going to be your future. And that has been a fantastic tool, as we can see it. 100% we are using AI machines.
Right.
And what we find is it's helping us so much. Because we're linked all through the network across the globe, internationally also. If I get a stone in my Bombay lab, even if the inscription is removed, once I put it in another lab, I know at once that this stone has been done, because we've stored the DNA in it.
Right.
So AI is a very integral part of our certification at the moment. It's backed up by humans, right?
Right. And so how many labs do you have across India and across the globe? And across the globe, where all do you have your labs currently?
So we are in Dubai. We've got 2 labs.
Right.
We're in the UK, in London.
Wow.
Yes. We have in Bangladesh. I know it's, but the market there is very evolving.
Right.
We have tied up with the Nepal Association, Jewelers Association. We are over there. We have a lab satellite lab also in Bangkok.
Wow.
Right. And we are spread over 23 states in India. I'm not counting the number of satellite labs that I have, which is, we set up a lab in their premises.
Wow.
So that I'm not counting.
Wow. So this is like
spread
a
out.
really huge network of labs that you've actually, you guys have single-handedly created.
God's been kind. Yes.
So what do you think is the most misunderstood aspect of jewelry certification in India?
See, the thing is that there are lots of fly-by-night operators,
Right.
And there are smaller labs who are misusing the concept of a laboratory, which is authenticity, but it's a money-making racket.
Right.
Unfortunately, there are lots of the little labs and fly-by-night, like I said, operators. And because of that, and the varying results that they're getting from people, somewhere the end consumer is very confused, because they have half knowledge, right? And they get confused as to what is happening, because this person is giving this at this rate, and with the same certificate, this jeweler is sending it at a different or a higher or a lesser rate. So hence that is causing a lot of confusion in the market. There's not a standardized platform, which is unfortunately hence confusing the consumer.
Right. So do you also have a lot of D2C branding that you have to do to educate the end consumer about certification and about your labs?
Yes. End of the day, any product is steered by a consumer, right?
Right.
Well, of late, we have found the importance of consumers marketing, and which I've already started the campaign. So I'm doing a couple of campaigns at the moment, which is hitting out straight to the consumer.
Right. So as a personal reflection, what keeps motivating you to, push these boundaries in such a competitive market every single day in India, across the globe?
You know what? Like I tell somebody, by the way, I don't drink.
Right.
So I think this is a form of a high that I have, So I feel that achieving one more lab, getting it set up, getting results out of it, it gives me a tremendous high. And I've always been very ambitious, and to get this more and more and more is more. I don't know whether it's power driven or what it is, but it is definitely, the high is very motivating in itself. So I self-motivate myself a lot, and building and expanding and seeing my family SGL grow. I think that motivates me a lot.
Right. And do you see a difference in work culture? Like, you've lived abroad all your life.
Yeah.
You're from UK, you're born and raised there, and then to come to India and do something like this, do you see like a lot of culture change? How has that affected the way you've changed as a person and your personality?
Okay. May I quote a very, very funny incident?
Please.
So when I first came from the UK, I was a very casual person, and I was always in jeans and stuff like
Right.
that. And then, once one of my clients said, "You're an owner of a laboratory, and we give you crores of rupees
Right.
worth of jewelry, and you're always so casually dressed.
Yes.
Don't you want to send out a message?" And I thought, oh my God, am I perceived as somebody like that?
Casual,
And
right.
I had to change my whole attitude.
Right.
I was extremely formal. I was like extremely punctual. That's the one thing I could never get. If somebody told me 12:30, I would be there at 12:29. And that I could not understand. So I
Right.
changed a lot. And yes,
Right.
there is a very different culture.
Right.
UK is very conservative. It's very formal. India's
Right.
very informal. And I love working here.
You love
India's
working.
the best.
Okay. Of course, India is the best. You have this tremendous eye for detail,
Yeah.
right? And you have a
Yeah.
great personal style.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite gemstone?
Okay. So my personal favorite is emeralds.
Okay.
Maybe because I was given a very, very important heirloom by my grandmother to me.
Right.
And that was a beautiful piece of an emerald ring, which is a 7-carat.
Wow.
And it's absolutely gorgeous. So, yes, I'm very intrigued by the colors of emerald. And yeah,
That's your
emerald.
personal favorite.
Yes, yes.
And you obviously live out of London, and then you're living in India, and
Yeah.
this is all like a hectic schedule for you. So, how do you unwind after a long day of this whole global operations? What does your day look like at the end of the day?
Okay, off late, something very stupid like watching Insta Reels.
I can
think it's such
imagine that.
you just leave your brains behind
Right,
sometimes,
Right.
and just because all the time it's so high, like powered our jobs, what we are doing.
Right.
Sometimes I just want to do nothing and just flip through
Reels.
inane YouTube
Right.
reels,
And then suddenly it's 3 hours and you're still
Yes,
going.
and I'm still going on with that. And it's such a beautiful way of unwinding,
Absolutely. I do
So-
exactly the same. So I can understand what you're saying. So now a little serious question. Since you guys are also into certification of labs, and that's a lot of trust that goes into it, do you guys also certify lab-grown diamonds?
Absolutely. There's no
Mhm.
harm in it. When we started differentiating, that was the need of the hour. It's the
Right.
need of the hour today.
Right.
We're not against lab-grown diamonds. We are just saying that, it has to be transparent that
Right.
this is lab-grown. And why
This
not?
is natural.
Lab-growns are a part of the industry. They're here to stay. And we definitely do certify it. But we have different color codings, making it very clear that this is a lab-grown certificate and this is a natural certificate. Yes.
And do a lot of retailers come to you and say, that since you're doing lab-grown, we wouldn't want to send you our natural stones or anything like that? Does it happen ever?
No.
Have you got any backlash on that?
Absolutely not. Because
You've
it's
not
very clear, right?
Right.
And they know our reputation, and it's very clear whatever comes in, it's never mixed or anything. It's absolutely not at all. Never for once have I had that problem.
Right.
No.
And as a lab, do you also certify any polki jewelry or any other forms of diamonds?
Yes, we do. We do. Because I don't know if you're aware, but there's a lot of lab-grown polkis
Polki
also
available.
around. And we realized that quite, recently, around 5-6 years ago, that there was a lot of that integrated into the real polki. And yes, absolutely. I wouldn't say real, but the natural one.
Right.
Yes. So we are certifying polki jewelry as well.
So, but now, big question is that I've heard from most people that even at a lab, it's pretty much impossible to tell between a natural and a lab-grown polki. Do you think that's true, or do you face challenge there, or can you actually differentiate between a lab-grown polki and a natural polki?
Yes, we can differentiate, but not with the naked eye, and not by. I wouldn't say that only a gemologist can do it. We do need the help of various instruments that we have, and definitely it's a bit difficult. And I'd be lying if I said yes, offhand you can, or nothing of that sort. We do have our parameters, as you know that anyway. Certifying natural polki, they're not any set parameters, right? So you have to go by what you know. It's the limited parameters. And with the help of instruments, yes, we can.
Right. So you have your in-house research team?
Yes, yes. Yes, we do.
Yeah, and how does that process work?
So our in-house team is constantly not only guiding our graders, okay, and all our analysts, but we are also updating our instruments.
Right.
Because as you see, the industry is coming up with more and more and more, right? So we are constantly reaching those. We try to, have those kind of standards.
Right.
Yes.
And recently you started your dossier.
Yes.
Right? How is that working for you? Like,
okay, that's a new thing, and also jewelry, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, we're doing
you started
that.
jewelry as well?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So this is a very new thing that we launched in Dubai in the expo show last month.
Amazing.
And yeah, the dossier is picking up very, very well.
Right.
I don't know if you know that program, but we are in.
We would like to hear about it.
Yeah, so it is all there on the sglcertified.com, whereby we have tied up with certain suppliers, and you can place your order with us, and we screen your diamonds for that particular set of whatever criteria that you've asked, and we laser inscribe each and every piece and give it to you, as small as even 0.8 cents.
Wow.
So it's a very transparent thing. So we are sorting and siphoning all your goods out for you. Okay. So it's called SGL Certified, and it's on sglcertified.com.
Oh, amazing. And the dossier size go up to what, like 50 cents? Up to what sizes are they available?
Mostly we were doing it at 38 cents. Okay. But with the demands that we are seeing of late, we are planning to go a little bit higher, because nobody was giving such dossiers for such small diamonds.
Nobody was.
Right. And we were the first people who introduced this.
Right. And now it's easily available to the retailers across India?
Absolutely. Of course, it's through website and what we give you the link. But yes, it is.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you.
So now, since we've heard about your lab and we've heard about everything you've done and achieved in your personal journey, what would your advice be to young entrepreneurs or, leaders in the jewelry field or even in the certification industry? What would your advice be like?
2 sets. For the certification industry, please try and remain as transparent, as consistent as you can, right? Because end of the day, we are like a laboratory who wants to give authenticity. Right. And to the other people in the rest of the world, I would say follow your dreams. Oh. That's what I did. Right. Absolutely. Right. In spite of my physical handicap with my eyes, I did that, and nothing stops you. I had one quote in mind, and I used to think of if George Brown can run a country with one eye, why can't Shirin Bandukwalla run SGL?
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, that thing stuck in my head.
Right.
But
I think that is what inspired me the most when I first met you.
Thank you.
To come and even speak with you, right? We go back a long way.
Yes, we do.
And I remember seeing you for the first time. I'm like, who is this lady? I want to go and talk to her. You were this dynamic person who stood out in the crowd.
Thank you so much.
And you've
vice versa, let me tell you that.
And you've done a fabulous job with the lab.
Thank you so much.
You've done a fabulous job with, building trust in a country that you came to and build this prestigious lab. And today, SGL is obviously a trusted and well-known lab in India and across the globe.
Very humbled. So I just say India to the world,
right?
Because we are the only two Indians who decided on this journey and took India to the world.
Right.
So my motto has always been India to the world.
Yeah, it is. It is an inception in India, and you've taken it global instead of being a global brand and coming to India.
Yes.
Okay, so I think it's been a fabulous journey for you. What are your expansion plans like?
Oh,
coming years?
Well, expansion is now, I think we more or less kind of covered all of India. We recently launched in Ahmedabad and Raipur, Lucknow. So we're spread out all over. I would say internationally, there are a couple of things in the pipeline, but I'll give you all a surprise.
Okay.
Yeah, very shortly. Yes.
We would be waiting.
Yes.
With bated breath.
Thank
for
you
your
so
surprise.
much. Thank you.
And now with that, we're going to jump into our rapid fire round.
Okay.
It's called Quick Bling Buzz, and you're going to answer quick questions.
Okay. And how quick is that got to be?
You're good at this. Okay. You're good, you're witty, you're smart, so you're going to do this.
Okay.
Okay. What's your go-to outfit to feel confident and powerful?
Oh my God, I would say shorts.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the one accessory you can't leave your house without?
My kajal. I look like a dead person without it.
Okay. A book, a movie, or a show that inspired you?
I would say Roots, the movie Roots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If you weren't
And the book, of course.
if you weren't leading SGL Labs, what would you be doing?
You know what? I'm a very people's person. I can see myself counseling and giving free advice. So yeah, that is what I'd be
Counselors
doing.
don't give free advice.
I know, right?
The most exciting place you've traveled to for work?
For work,
Hmm.
I've traveled to hundreds of destinations, but not for work. But for work, I would say Nepal.
Nepal,
Yeah.
right? It's beautiful.
Oh, I love it. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Nepal.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Talkative. Yeah. Because my mom used to give me 10 rupees to keep quiet. So talkative, I would say. A very people's person.
Right.
And I think to a certain extent quite witty.
Resilient, I would say.
Resilient. No?
Absolutely.
That I thought was going to be very formal and very goody
No,
goody.
Resilient is
So
something that you
yes.
are. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Ooh, superpower. I'd love to fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fly London to India.
Yes.
Diamonds or colored gemstones? What's your personal favorite?
Colored
Colored
gemstones. Yeah.
What is the rarest gemstone you've ever worked with?
You know what? There was this very rare stone from Morocco. And I had worked with that. My daughter's a gemologist and
Oh.
she came up with that. Yeah.
Okay. Does your daughter also work in your business?
No. In fact, she's got her own and she's got her own company, which is
Okay.
SB Gemological Solutions
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. in London.
Nice. If diamonds are forever,
Oh.
what's the tagline for gemstone certification?
I think they're eternal.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. If you could gift a flawless gem to any celebrity, who would it be and why?
Nobody. I wouldn't give away the flawless gem. I'd keep it for myself.
The most bizarre fashion trend you have participated in?
Okay. And it's still on that fashion, I think, was of very short kurtas and the dhotis. And being very short myself, I participated. I made quite a few and I looked totally
I
crazy.
used to wear it to office every day.
Yes, but you're tall, my dear. I am 5 foot nothing and I looked
But
bizarre.
I still think it's bizarre.
So I really looked crazy in that.
Okay. What's the funniest thing you've seen someone do in public?
Oh my God, I could write a book on it. Lots of things.
Okay. If you had an unlimited supply of one thing for the rest of your life, would it be shoes, chocolates, or coffee?
Shoes.
You love
Because
shoes.
I'm size 2 shoes and I don't get my size. So shoes, definitely.
Would you rather go a week without your favorite food or without your phone?
Food. I can't do without my phone.
Okay.
I've got an addiction problem to my reels.
If you could eat one meal for the rest of your life every single day, what would it be?
Thai food.
Okay.
I love it and spicy.
You've done well on the rapid fire round.
Thank you
So
so
we
much.
are going to give you a hamper.
Oh,
Right.
wonderful. Thank you. That's made it worth my while then.
Absolutely.
Thank
So
you
this
so
is for
much.
you.
Thank you. That's very sweet and kind of you, Lunika.
You're
I
welcome.
don't think I
gonna keep
deserve
it-
this,
I'm
but
going to keep it here for you.
thank you. Don't think I deserve such a lovely hamper, but thank you so much.
Yes, it was an absolute pleasure having you and hearing about your journey. And
you.
you've come and you've revolutionized the industry with your leadership and your vision for India. And it was an absolute pleasure having you on this podcast. Now, before we leave, if you could have a few words about how was your experience on being on the show and what do you think of this whole new format?
Okay. First of all, thank you, Lunika, for arranging this beautiful show. I think it was lovely. I think you've also interviewed various people from
Right.
various segments of the industry. So you're giving a very good picture about each and every different area
Right.
and the workings of the different segment. And I think it's a wonderful, wonderful initiative that you've taken. And I'm wishing you all the best on all your endeavors.
Thank you.
Please
so much.
keep coming up with all these various lovely
Right.
things and keep me in mind for your
Of
next
course.
show. And I would love to be part of whatever you're doing, Lunika. It's very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
being here. Thank you.
My
Thanks,
pleasure.
Shirin.
Thank you so much.